Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. I'm going to be taking you along for the creation of our 8 gallon per minute M5 Duo. A lot of you guys are familiar with our M5 Duo we've been using for the 4 gallon per minute. I've been using this for about a year and a half now. The Xjet's actually been in service since 2020, but this is my go-to every day. I use this and it's absolutely wonderful for efficiency. I use this as a soap nozzle for the M5 downstreamer, and then I use the Xjet as my rinsing tool. So one triggers the downstream injector and the other one closes the valve in the downstream injector. This allows me to not go back to the truck, take my dipstick out of the mix tank, or basically I don't have to have a bypass system that switches me from soap to rinse remotely. This is kind of my remote bypass system for right now. Eventually I do plan on moving up to a remote bypass system, but right now we just moved up to the 8 gallon per minute, and we need to make an M5 Duo so that we can wash more efficiently rather than carrying around several different nozzles. This is just sits on top of my on top of the gun. So I'll show you what we have to make this happen. Alright, so this is everything we're going to need to make the M5 Duo. We have our Xjet M5 downstream nozzle. We have the Xjet M5 twist. And this one is a large orifice. This is a small orifice. That's why they are different, and both are necessary for this downstreaming setup. So I have two 1/4 inch nipples, so they're 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch, and that is going to replace this 1/4 inch quick connect. You can see right here that it is threaded inside, so we will be threading this part inside of the downstream M5, and this part's going to get threaded into the female of the Jrod holder. Now this I have is a 3 nozzle Jrod holder, and a lot of people have asked me questions about this. I can't even find a replacement for this. This was originally a 4 nozzle Jrod holder, but as you can see right here, the weld broke while I was trying to set this up last year, and so it became a 3 nozzle Jrod holder, which was just enough for what I wanted, but I was not able to find that when I was getting the supplies for this. So we're going to go with a 4 nozzle Jrod holder. I actually prefer that so that I don't get these two confused as well. It'll give me just a little bit more room up there where I'm creating it. I will put links to all of this stuff. All this stuff came from Amazon, so I'll just put a link for everything down in the description below. Pick out the size orifice you need for your machine, and the Jrod holder and the 1/4 inch nipples will be kind of universal. The tools I'm going to need for this is actually pretty simple. I have thread tape, I have a 3/4 inch wrench, I have an 11/16 inch and a 9/16 inch. The 9/16 is going to be on the small. The 9/16 will be on the small nut right here. The 11/16 is going to be on the actual Jrod holder, and then the 3/4 inch will be for the Xjet to twist it in. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we are going to need to take these existing quick connect fittings off of the Xjet and the M5 downstream. And so to do that, we're going to be using the 11/16 wrench and the 3/4 inch wrench. And this is just going to be like anything else, just twist that right off. Once you get it loosened with the wrench, it comes off pretty easily. And make sure to clean out all of the debris in there without taking any of the internal components out. And they come off nice and easy. I'm going to go ahead and clean these out, and that way we can get it prepped and ready for the nipples. Alright, once you have that taped up on both ends, I'll go ahead and I will just finger tighten this into the Xjet till it stops. And then I'm just going to tighten it down with our 11/16. This is where a vise would come in handy, but 2 wrenches does the trick. I like to do the Xjet first because that barb here is going to get in the way of trying to do it with the downstream nozzle on there. So then I just take this and I thread it on in. Get it as tight as it will go. And I just do the same thing on here, tightening it down. And I want it to end up with the barb facing down. That way I can hook up my Kim line right here to the bottom and this barb is still available. And then I'm just going to do the same thing with the M5 Downstream. All it took was about 5 minutes worth of work. I put the nipples in here between the M5s and the Jrod holder. I have 2 empty holders here. That's no big deal. I could probably squeeze a shooter tip in here if I wanted to, but I really just love the way that this works. I get tons of distance out of this, so I'm not really super worried about getting a shooter tip on here. I have a shooter tip by CNR, and it works pretty good, but it really doesn't get me all that much more distance than this does. One tip I would say is try to make sure that these fans in here are as close to level with the Jrod holder. That way, as this is sitting on your gun, it actually kind of gives you that pattern going back and forth. But it'll take a little getting used to. But as you can see, this one is a little bit banged up, beat up. It's been through the ringer. It's been, oh my gosh, a couple hundred house washes at least. And hopefully this one's going to last me just as long. I did not buy any knockoff products. These are all Xjet branded. And I've just had such good luck buying their brand, I don't even want to take a risk buying anything else. But hopefully this is going to be my go-to for a very, very long time. Well, thanks for watching as I made that M5 twist today, or the M5 Duo. That has been my go-to for a very long time, and highly, highly recommend it. I know a lot of the viewers on my channel have tried something similar or just use them separately, but it is a lifesaver if you are going to be downstreaming and you want something significantly better than a 4-nozzle Jrod. So these Xjet products are super high quality, and they've lasted me for years and years of use and abuse. And when I got my 8 gallon per minute machine, there was no doubt in my mind how I was going to downstream with it. I was going to be using my M5 Duo, and yeah, eventually I will get into the downstream bypass, but for right now, this is going to be, you know, right back in service come Monday morning, and I'm not going to have to carry around a nozzle in my jacket pocket or my jeans or anything like that. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, if you want to see any of the other items that I use, how I use them, any questions you have, just pop those down in the comments and I'd be more than happy to answer some questions, or maybe do a couple of explaining videos on like my process on doing stuff like this M5 Downstream. So, all right, well, that's all I got for you today. You guys be safe out there.